everyone. Welcome back to the English Podcast Hub. I'm Emily, and as always, I'm here with Jake.
Hey there, friends. It's great to be with you again. How's everyone doing today?
I'm feeling really good and excited, actually, because today's topic is something everyone can relate to.
Totally. We're diving into something simple, but also super important for both life and language learning, talking about your feelings.
Exactly. We all have emotions: happy, sad, angry, tired, excited. And being able to express them clearly in English can really help you connect with people.
Yeah, it's not just vocabulary, it's communication, it's connection, it's even good for your mental health.
Couldn't agree more. And we'll show you how to describe your emotions naturally, how to ask others about their feelings, and how to respond with kindness and empathy.
So, if you're someone who's learning English and you've ever thought, I can say how I feel, but I don't always know the right words, this episode is for you.
That's right. Oh, and before we jump in, if you enjoy learning with us, please follow and share the English Podcast Hub with your friends. It really helps us grow and keeps more learners around the world connected.
And of course, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a message or comment. How are you feeling today?
Perfect question to get started. All right, let's get into today's episode. Talk about your feelings. So, Jake, let's start with the big question. Why is it so important to talk about our feelings?
Good one. I think most people, including me, sometimes find it hard to open up. But honestly, talking about how we feel can make a huge difference.
Totally. It's like letting the pressure out of a bottle. When you keep everything inside, it builds up. Stress, frustration, sadness, and eventually it just feels too heavy.
Exactly. But when you talk about it, you release some of that weight. It's actually really good for your mental health.
Yes, and not just for yourself. When you express your feelings, other people can understand you better. If I tell you, hey, I'm feeling a bit down today, you know where I'm at emotionally. It makes communication so much easier.
Right. It helps people connect on a human level. You're not just exchanging words, you're sharing what's real.
And that creates trust. Like if I share that I'm sad or anxious and you listen, it strengthens our friendship. It's a small act, but it builds empathy.
Totally. I always think of it as a little bridge between people. Every honest conversation about feelings makes that bridge stronger.
That's such a good image. So, talking about your feelings helps your mind, helps your communication, and helps your relationships.
Yeah, it's good for you, and it's good for everyone around you. And the cool part, when you do it in English, you're improving both your emotional skills and your language skills at the same time.
Two birds with one stone. All right, that's our why. Next, let's get into some of the most common English words to describe feelings, starting with the basics.
Perfect. Let's make feelings vocabulary easy and fun. All right, now that we know why it's important to talk about our feelings, let's start learning how to do it in English.
Exactly. Let's go over some of the most common feeling words, the ones we use almost every day.
Yep, we'll start simple, and if you're listening, try saying them out loud with us. It really helps you remember.
Okay, first one: happy. When you smile, when you laugh, when good things happen, you feel happy.
Like when it's Friday and you realize the weekend's just around the corner, that's pure happiness.
Oh, yes. Or when you finally get that cup of coffee in the morning. Laughs.
Next one, sad. That's when you feel down or maybe want to cry a little.
Right. Like when your plans get canceled, or it rains all day and you just want sunshine. You might feel a bit sad.
Totally. Okay, here's one we all know, angry. That's when something really upsets you, right?
Exactly. Like when you miss the bus or when your computer crashes just before you save your work. Laughs.
Ugh, that one hurts. Now, how about tired? That's a classic.
Yeah, when you've had a long day and your body just says, please, no more, you can simply say, I'm tired.
Or I feel tired after a long day at work. Super useful because everyone feels that way sometimes.
All right, here's a good one. Excited. That's when you're looking forward to something fun, like a vacation or a concert.
Exactly. Like, I'm so excited for my trip next week. Or I'm excited to see my friends tonight.
And then they're scared when something makes you feel afraid. Maybe you're watching a scary movie or you hear a weird noise at night.
Yeah, that did you hear that moment laughs. It's okay to admit you're scared. We all are sometimes.
And finally, one more common one, nervous. That's when you feel a little worried before something big, like a test or an interview.
Or before recording a podcast for the first time.
Oh, yes, been there. But look at us now. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Exactly. So, those are your basic feelings: happy, sad, angry, tired, excited, scared, and nervous. Learn these first, and you'll already be able to describe most of your daily emotions.
And up next, we'll look at a simple grammar point that helps you sound even more natural when talking about these feelings, the difference between I feel and I am.
Stay tuned, friends. It's super easy but super useful.
All right, now that we've got our basic feelings down, happy, sad, tired, excited, let's talk about a little grammar point that comes up all the time.
Yep, this one's super common. The difference between saying I feel and I am.
Exactly. So, Jake, if I say I feel happy or I am happy, both are correct, right?
Absolutely. They mean almost the same thing. You're just expressing how you feel right now.
Right. The difference is super small. I feel is usually used when we're describing an emotion, a physical state, or a temporary condition.
Like, I feel tired, or I feel cold, or I feel nervous before my exam. You're describing something happening in the moment.
Exactly. And I am works the same way for feelings. I am tired. I am happy. I am nervous. It's simple and perfectly natural.
So don't stress about which one to use. Both sound natural in conversation. Native speakers use them interchangeably all the time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where context matters more than grammar rules. If you're talking about your emotions, just pick the one that feels comfortable to you.
That's right. Think of it like this: I feel focuses more on your inner experience, what's happening inside you. I am sounds a little more like describing your overall state.
Ooh, I like that. So if I say, I feel sad, it's like I'm tuning into my emotion. But if I say, I am sad, I'm describing my mood in a broader way.
Exactly. You nailed it. And when you start combining these with other words, like a bit, really, very completely, you can make your English sound super natural.
Right. Like, I feel a bit tired, or I'm really happy today. Tiny words, big difference in tone.
Yup. And the best part, there's no wrong choice here. So don't overthink it, just practice using both.
Totally. The more you speak, the more natural it'll sound. And soon you won't even have to think about it.
All right, now that we've got that sorted, let's move on to some more advanced emotions, the kind that describe deeper or more specific feelings.
Ooh, that's where things get interesting. Let's dive in. All right, so we've covered the basic feelings: happy, sad, tired, excited. But Jake, sometimes our emotions are a bit more complex than that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are times when happy or sad just isn't enough to describe what we're really feeling. So today, let's go a little deeper.
Perfect. Let's start with frustrated. That's when you're trying to do something, but it's just not working the way you want.
Like when you're assembling furniture and the instructions make zero sense, you're like, why are there always extra screws?
Exactly. You try again and again, but nothing fits. That's frustrating.
All right, next one, overwhelmed. That's when you have too many things happening at once and it feels like too much to handle.
Yes, like when you've got work, school, family, and messages piling up, your brain just says, Nope, I'm done. You might say, I feel overwhelmed.
Totally relatable. And it happens to everyone. Okay, here's another one, anxious. It's similar to nervous but stronger. It's when you worry a lot about something even before it happens.
Yeah, like waiting for a big job interview or checking your exam results. Your stomach feels tight, your mind keeps spinning. That's anxiety.
Exactly. And it's completely normal to feel anxious sometimes. Next, let's balance that out with a positive one, proud.
Ah, I love this one. You feel proud when you've achieved something, like finishing a project, learning English consistently, or helping someone you care about.
Right? You could say, I'm so proud of myself for finishing that, or I'm proud of my friend, she worked really hard.
That's such a warm feeling. Okay, next, lonely. This one's a bit sad, but it's important. It means you feel alone, even if there are people around.
Yeah, it's that quiet feeling when you just wish someone could really understand you. And that's okay. We all feel lonely sometimes.
Exactly. Being able to say, I feel lonely, helps others know you need a little support.
All right, let's move to confident. That's a great one. It means you believe in yourself and your abilities.
Like when you know the answer in class and you raise your hand without hesitation. Or when you say, I feel confident about this presentation.
Confidence is something we build over time, and using English more often really helps with that.
Absolutely. And our last word for this section, disappointed. That's when something doesn't go the way you hoped, and it leaves you a little sad.
Yeah, like when your favorite team loses or your plan get canceled at the last minute. You can say, I'm disappointed.
Or, I'm disappointed because I studied hard but didn't pass the test. It's a softer, more polite way to express sadness.
Exactly. So, these advanced feelings, frustrated, overwhelmed, anxious, proud, lonely, confident, disappointed, they help you describe emotions more precisely, just like native speakers do.
Yes. And when you start mixing them with words like a bit, really, or extremely, your English becomes more expressive and natural.
That's what we'll explore next, how to talk about how strong your feelings are.
Ooh, I love that part. Let's learn how to turn I'm sad into I'm completely heartbroken.
Let's do it. So, Emily, now that we learned some deeper emotions like frustrated, anxious, and proud, let's talk about how strong those feelings can be.
Yes, because, not every emotion feels the same every time. Sometimes you're just a little sad, and other times you're really sad.
Exactly. That's where intensity words come in, words that show how strong your feeling is.
Right. Let's start with something small, a bit or a little. For example, I'm a bit tired today means you're just slightly tired, not exhausted.
Yeah, like you still have energy for a movie, but maybe not for a party.
Exactly. Then we can make it stronger with very or really, like, I'm very happy or I'm really nervous before my presentation.
Those two are super common in daily English. If you want to sound natural, really is your best friend. I'm really excited, sounds more conversational than I'm very excited.
Totally agree. And if you want to go even further, like super strong emotion, you can use words like completely or extremely.
Right, so I'm completely exhausted means you're totally out of energy, or I'm extremely happy means you're over the moon.
Nice idiom drop, Jake. And speaking of that, remember, when we use these words, we can make our emotions sound more colorful and more real.
Exactly. Let's try a few examples side by side so our listeners can hear the difference.
Okay, let's do sad. I'm a bit sad. Maybe your ice cream fell on the ground. I'm really sad. Maybe you missed your friend's birthday. I'm completely devastated. That's like losing something or someone very important.
Perfect examples. Here's another. Nervous. I'm a little nervous before a test. I'm extremely anxious before a job interview.
Yes, so by changing just one small word, you completely change the level of emotion.
And that's a great way to sound more fluent and natural because real English speakers always play with intensity.
Exactly. So, to recap, we can use a bit, a little, very, really, completely, extremely to show how strong our feelings are.
Right? And practice mixing them with different emotions like really happy, a bit tired, extremely proud, completely frustrated.
Love it. All right, next up, we're going to make it even more fun. We'll talk about English idioms for feelings like on cloud nine or under the weather.
Ooh, those are the expressions that make English sound truly alive. Let's jump into that next. All right, Emily, we've talked about words that show how strong our feelings are. But now it's time for something fun idioms.
Yes, my favorite part. Idioms make English sound so natural, and honestly, they make conversations more colorful.
Exactly. They're those little expressions that native speakers use all the time, but the meaning isn't always clear from the words themselves.
Right. So if you only translate them word for word, they sound kind of weird, but once you learn them, they make your English sound super fluent.
Okay, let's start with one of the happiest one on cloud 9. It means you're extremely happy, like you're floating in the sky.
Yes. For example, I just got the job I wanted. I'm on cloud nine. It's such a joyful way to say you're over the top happy.
Totally. You can also say I was on cloud 9 all weekend after hearing the news.
All right, next one. Under the weather. This doesn't mean you're standing in the rain. It actually means you're feeling a little sick or unwell.
Yeah, not stormy weather, just your health. For example, I can't come to work today. I'm feeling under the weather.
It's a soft, polite way to say you're not feeling great. Maybe you have a cold or just feel off.
Exactly. All right, here's a tricky one. Walking on eggshells. If you're walking on eggshells, it means you're being really careful around someone because they might get upset easily.
Yes, like when your boss is in a bad mood and you're careful with every word you say. You could say, everyone at work was walking on eggshells today.
Been there. It's that nervous feeling when you don't want to make things worse.
And the last one for today, it broke my heart. That's a strong one. It means something made you really deeply sad.
Yeah, like it broke my heart when my dog ran away, or hearing that story broke my heart.
It's emotional, but also a beautiful expression. You can use it when you feel genuine sadness or empathy.
So, to recap, we've got on cloud 9, extremely happy under the weather, feeling sick walking on eggshells, being careful not to upset someone, it broke my heart, feeling very sad.
Perfect summary. And remember, idioms aren't just advanced English. They're what real people use every day in movies, songs, and everyday conversations.
Exactly. The more you listen and use them, the more natural you'll sound.
All right, up next, we're going to flip things around. We'll learn how to ask other people about their feelings in a natural and caring way.
That's such an important skill, showing that you care through language. Let's get into that next.
So, Jake, we've learned how to talk about our own feelings, but there's another side to this, right?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing how to ask about other people's feelings is just as important, maybe even more. It shows you care and it helps build trust.
Yes, but sometimes the typical, how are you, isn't enough, because let's be honest, most people just say, I'm fine.
Yeah, the classic I'm fine, even when they're totally not fine.
Exactly. So let's talk about a few ways to ask that feel a little more real and natural.
All right, first one, you can say, how are you really feeling? It's simple, but it goes a bit deeper than just, how are you?
Yes, it tells the other person that you actually want to know how they're doing, not just being polite. You're opening the door for a genuine answer.
Right. Another good one is, do you want to talk about it? It's a gentle invitation. It lets the person decide if they want to share.
Exactly. It's not pushy. It's like saying, I'm here if you need me.
And one of my favorites is something on your mind. It means, are you thinking about something? Especially if someone looks distracted or worried.
Yes, that one feels warm and caring. Like, if your friend seems quiet or stressed, you can say, Hey, is something on your mind? It's such a kind way to check in.
Totally agree. And here's another tip. Your tone of voice matters just as much as the words. If you sound gentle and calm, people are more likely to open up.
Exactly. You don't want to sound like you're interviewing someone. It's more like soft, curious, friendly.
Right. And even just noticing small things like saying, you seem a bit down today, are you okay? That shows real empathy.
Yes, the goal isn't to fix someone's problem, it's to make them feel seen and understood.
Beautifully said. And the great thing is, practicing these questions in English also helps you connect better in any language.
Exactly. It's communication with heart. So remember, how are you really feeling? Do you want to talk about it? Is something on your mind? You seem a bit down. Are you okay?
Perfect list. And next, we'll go one step further. How to respond when someone shares their feelings with you using empathy and kindness.
Yes, this is where language and compassion really come together. Let's get into that next. So, Jake, in the last part, we talked about how to ask people about their feelings. But that's only half the story, right?
Exactly. The next step is knowing how to respond. And that's where empathy comes in.
Yes. Empathy means understanding and sharing someone else's feelings. It's not about giving advice or trying to fix the problem. It's about saying, I see you, I understand.
Right. When someone opens up to you, they don't always need solutions, they just need connection.
Exactly. So let's go through a few simple, natural ways to respond when someone shares their feelings.
Okay, first one, that must be really hard. It's such a simple phrase, but it shows you get that their situation is difficult.
Yes. If your friend says, I've been feeling really stressed lately, you can say, That must be really hard. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Perfect example. Another one I love is I understand how you feel. Even if you haven't been through the exact same thing, it shows compassion.
Right. It's like saying, I get it. I felt something like that too. It helps the other person know they're not alone.
Exactly. Speaking of not being alone, one of the most powerful things you can say is, I'm here for you.
Yes. So simple, but so powerful. It means, you can count on me. I've got your back.
And sometimes just saying thanks for sharing that with me can mean a lot. It shows you appreciate their honesty and trust.
Totally, because it's not easy to open up. When you thank someone for sharing, you make them feel safe. and more likely to share again in the future.
Exactly. And remember, empathy isn't just about words, it's also about tone and presence. Even silence can be empathetic if you're really listening.
That's such an important point. It's okay to pause, nod, or just say, I hear you. Sometimes that's all a person needs.
Beautifully said. So, to sum up, when someone shares how they feel, you can respond with, that must be really hard. I understand how you feel. I'm here for you. Thanks for sharing that with me.
Exactly. These are small sentences, but they carry a lot of heart.
They really do. And learning to respond with empathy in English doesn't just make you a better speaker, it makes you a better friend, a better listener, a better human.
Yes, language is connection, and empathy is what gives that connection meaning.
Well said. Up next, we'll put everything together with some real life examples so you can hear how all these phrases sound in everyday situations.
Can't wait for that part. Let's dive into it next. All right, Jake, now that we've talked about words and expressions, let's make it real. How do we actually use all of this in everyday life?
Exactly. Let's go through a few real life situations and see how we can describe our feelings naturally, like real conversations.
Perfect. Let's start with something everyone knows, a bad day at work.
Oh, yeah, so if I had a really rough day, I might say, I'm feeling tired and a bit frustrated today. The computer was slow and I had too many meetings.
That's a good one. You're describing your feelings clearly, tired and frustrated. Plus, you add why. That makes it sound authentic.
Exactly. Or if it was a super busy day, I could also say, I'm feeling overwhelmed after all that work.
Nice. It shows both the emotion and the reason behind it. Okay, next situation. Something happier before a big trip or event.
Oh, I love that. I'd say, I'm so excited for my vacation next week. I can't wait.
Or if you want to sound extra expressive, I'm on cloud nine about my trip tomorrow.
That's a spirit? Okay, let's move to something more emotional after a breakup or disappointment.
Oof, yeah, those moments are tough. You might say, I'm really sad about the breakup. It broke my heart.
Or, I'm disappointed that the project didn't work out the way I hoped. Both sound honest and natural.
Yes, and the key here is to express it openly, not hide it. When we share our feelings, it helps us and the people around us understand each other better.
Exactly. And sometimes you can even soften it with intensity words, like a bit disappointed or really heartbroken.
Totally. Now, let's try a situation that most people can relate to: stress at work.
Yes, when you're just done with everything, you can say, I'm feeling burned out. That means you're mentally and physically exhausted.
Right. And if you need a little break, you can say, I need a mental break. Just some time to relax my mind.
That one's so useful in a professional context, polite but clear.
Exactly. Talking about stress this way helps you sound calm and mature. Not complaining, just being honest.
And that's the magic of emotional language. When you can express feelings like frustrated, excited, disappointed, or burned out, people understand you better and you connect more deeply.
Yes, it's not just about grammar or vocabulary, it's about connection. English becomes more alive when it comes from the heart.
Well said, Emily. All right. Up next, we'll explore something really fascinating: how different cultures express emotions and what that teaches us about communication.
Oh, that's one of my favorite topics. Let's dive into it right after the break. So, Jake, we've talked a lot about expressing feelings, but here's something interesting. Not every culture does it the same way.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, how people express emotions can be very different depending on where you are in the world.
Right. For example, in some cultures, people tend to keep their emotions more private. They might feel something strongly, but they don't show it openly.
Exactly. It's not because they don't have feelings, it's just that being reserved is seen as polite or respectful. Like in some Asian cultures, people might smile even when they're sad, just to keep harmony.
Yes, that's a great point. Meanwhile, in other cultures, like in many English speaking ones, expressing your feelings openly is actually encouraged.
Right. In the US, for example, saying things like, I'm feeling stressed or I'm excited about this project is totally normal, even at work. It's often seen as honest and healthy communication.
Exactly. In fact, being able to express your emotions clearly can help build trust in English speaking environments. It shows that you're being real, not hiding behind polite small talk.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest cultural differences English learners notice. In some languages, saying I'm sad might sound too direct, but in English, it's considered open and sincere.
Right. And that's why learning to talk about feelings in English isn't just about learning new words. It's also about learning how people think and communicate emotionally.
Exactly. When you practice saying things like, I feel nervous or I'm proud of you, you're not just improving your English, you're also connecting with how English speakers express care and emotion.
Yes! And I think that's such a beautiful part of learning any language. You don't just learn grammar, you learn empathy, culture, and perspective.
Totally. And it works both ways. When English speakers learn another language, they discover that sometimes silence or subtle gestures can express emotion just as deeply.
Exactly. It reminds us that every culture has its own emotional rhythm. Some are soft and quiet, others are expressive and loud, but they're all human.
Beautifully said, Emily. So, when you're learning English, remember, you're not just learning what to say, you're learning how to connect.
Yes, and that connection is what makes communication truly meaningful.
All right, up next, we'll wrap up with some practical tips to help you grow your emotional vocabulary and express yourself more naturally in English every single day.
Can't wait to share those. Let's get to it.
All right, Emily, we've talked about words, idioms, culture. Wait, now let's wrap up with something really practical. How can our listeners actually practice talking about their feelings in English every day?
Yes, because learning about emotions is one thing, but using them is where the real growth happens.
Exactly. So, tip number one, keep a feelings journal. Every day, write one or two sentences about how you feel and why.
Yes, it could be as simple as, today I feel happy because I had coffee with a friend, or I feel a bit tired because I stayed up too late.
That's it. Short, simple, but powerful. You're practicing vocabulary and reflecting on your emotions at the same time.
Right. And over time, you start to notice patterns, like what makes you happy or what stresses you out, all while improving your English naturally.
Exactly. Okay, tip number two, exenkudui. Describe your day using emotional language. Instead of saying, my day was good, try adding details.
Yes, say something like, my morning was stressful, but I felt proud when I finished my project. That's real life English. Emotional, expressive, and human.
Totally. It makes your English sound richer and more natural, like a real conversation, not a textbook.
All right, tip number 3, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Talking about feelings can be tricky, even in your first language, so be patient with yourself.
Exactly. You're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning self awareness and empathy. So every time you say, I feel, that's a little victory.
I love that. And maybe one more bonus tip, listen and repeat. When you hear people in movies, podcasts or songs, express their emotions, repeat those lines out loud.
Yes, mimic the tone, the rhythm, the emotion. That's how you train both your language and your emotional expression at once.
So, to sum up, keep a feelings journal. Describe your day with emotion words. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Listen and repeat emotional phrases.
Perfect list. And honestly, the more you practice, the more natural it feels, both in English and in life.
Yes, learning to express your feelings clearly isn't just good English practice, it's a way to understand yourself better, too.
Beautifully said, Emily. And remember, everyone, talking about your feelings is a journey. So take it one step, one word, one emotion at a time.
Absolutely. And we're so proud of you for learning, growing, and sharing this journey with us.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow and share the English Podcast Hub with your friends and tell us in the comments. How are you feeling today?
We'd really love to know. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
Take care and keep speaking from the heart.
take care and keep speaking from the heart. Wow, Jake. What a great conversation today. We've covered so much, from basic feelings to idioms to empathy, and even how different cultures express emotions.
Yeah, I love this topic because the truth is, talking about your feelings isn't just about learning English words, it's about learning to connect well with yourself and with others.
Exactly. When you can say, I feel happy, I'm nervous, or that broke my heart, you're not just speaking English, you're speaking honestly.
Yes, and every time you share your emotions, you build confidence, both in your English and in your heart. It's a journey of language and self awareness.
I love that. And remember, everyone, don't worry about being perfect. Just start small. Use one feeling word a day. Notice how you feel. That's how you grow.
Right. Learning a language is really learning how to express your world, and your feelings are a huge part of that world.
So true. And hey, if you're listening to this right now, we're proud of you. You're taking the time to learn, reflect, and become more expressive. That's something to feel good about.
Absolutely. And before we say goodbye, we'd love to hear from you. How are you feeling today?
Yes, leave us a comment or send us a message. Tell us one emotion you've learned from this episode and try using it in a sentence.
We'll be reading your messages and maybe even sharing a few in a future episode.
And don't forget to follow and share the English Podcast Hub with your friends, especially those who want to learn to speak English with heart.
Beautifully said. All right, everyone, that's all for today's episode. But keep practicing, keep feeling, and keep growing.
Yes, your voice matters, and so do your feelings. Thanks for spending your time with us.